Hi, guys. This is Monique with, um, I'm coming to you from the Biblical and Political News. I have a young lady. Her name is JJ Legal. And I was scrolling through YouTube. You can't see her, and I'm computer savvy, but not with all these apps that are coming out. If I could, I would be able to put her on the screen and y'all can see her talking while we listen. But I'm going to go ahead and hit the recorder button. She's a lawyer, she's a woman of color, and she's going to explain as to, because anybody that has a heart, anybody who knows that, people being gathered up, people being hurt, that's not a God, and that's cruel and it's brutal. And again, we know that things will get better. But what do we do in the meantime? Sometimes we go through things, but then we'll get a victory in the end. And praise the Lord for that. Because we live in a fallen world. We live with fallen people. We live with people like Satan who doesn't care about anybody, comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So with this video, you will hear her give pointers and it will spread so people know that they have rights because you have the problem, but what is the solution? Just like right now, they're going forth with a big ugly bill. And first they had said that the votes were like 214 to 212. And there was 9 people that had not voted. And V mean I say non-vote. So I guess now these Republicans are going to their colleagues and said, "Hey, you didn't vote. You got to vote for this bill." And so now the numbers are going up. But let me go ahead and let y'all listen to this. And there is a commercial break, so go ahead and listen.
Police officers did. Because 9 times out of 10, more likely than not, you probably tried to get into the police academy and you failed a test, you couldn't get the physical test, or something about it didn't work out. You've always wanted to be a cop. You always wanted to have that badge. You wanted to have that. And so this is your opportunity. So you were a bounty hunter instead, or you did other things instead, and you answer the call to get 1,000 per illegal, and you're just like, bet, I'm going to do it. I get to do whatever I want. These guys tell me I can do it. I'm straight. Now, here's the thing. I'm telling you now, and I don't know how you've seen this video because my name is JJ Legal. I have 2 law degrees. I practice regulatory law, practice and written Supreme Court briefs, federal district court briefs. So know what I'm talking about. You want to know how, wait a minute, you were saying that I could be liable? What about Donald Trump pardoning the January 6ers? Here, there's 8 laws that Donald Trump cannot pardon. What you're doing, and you know you're doing, is against the law. You know it. And here's the thing, the laws that you're breaking, doesn't matter if you know it. Intent, meaning like knowfully doing it, or doesn't matter. You cannot use the excuse, the defense that somebody told me I can do it. It was in this manual. They said to they said to take off the license plate. They said to not announce ourselves. They told us to cover our faces.
Guys,
They said to not announce our badges. They told us it's okay to go into people's homes without announcing ourselves, without a federal warrant, because that's what they told us. Listen here, the laws that I'm about to share with you doesn't matter. And here's the thing: the statute of limitations. What the statute of limitations means? That means Donald Trump, no matter what you believe or think, he's on his way out. That's why he's doing all this crazy stuff. He's on his way out. No matter how he's on his way out, he has a minimum of 2.5 years of we can get rid of him early or whatever. That's the statute of limitation is 5 years. Meaning the next administrations get what people say. They're not going to be any more elections. I can't stand when people say that nonsense. There's going to be elections, and there's a good chance that the next president is going to be a Democrat. There's a really great chance, right? People are tired of this Trump. Trump's like kind of damaged the MAGA brand. High likelihood the next person is going to be a Democrat. The statute of limitations is 5 years. So it means that when they find out, they're going to find out who you are. There's different ways to track you. You're going to be on the hook for following federal laws. Can't be and state law. So let's say you get caught, we figure out who you are, states start prosecuting. Donald Trump can't save you from state laws. He can't pardon himself. He can't pardon himself. And he definitely can't pardon himself for state laws because right now he's a 34-time convict in the state of New York. Unpardonable straight finishes. So first, let's go through the federal stuff that you're on the hook for, all right? Okay, so there's this law right here, deprivation of rights under color of law. That means when you use force without due process, criminal liability is what you're looking at. All right. That's 18 USC 242. Now let's look at exceeding authorized use of force. This is when you're misusing your authority. So this goes to you supervisor out there. You're telling people that they can excessively handcuff, force removal. You can be prosecuted if you are a supervisor telling people to do this. So exceeding authorized use of force by federal agents within the jurisdiction can trigger automatic liability if it involves weapons or serious bodily harm. So people you're jacking up when they're hurt, they can make claims against you. All right, if you're a supervisor or whatever. So that's 18 USC subsection 13. Look that up. That's what you're federal. Now, Posse Comitatus Act violations 18 USC 1385. Now, this is where ICE agents bring in military style units without jurisdiction. So, this is when they deputize National Guard acting in civilian law enforcement without authority. Can trigger criminal liability, regardless of intent. So it does not matter. Whenever you see the word intent, it means you can't say that I didn't know or somebody told me to do this. That's strict liability. Once you do it, you're on the hook. Now, you have qualified immunity exceptions. Normally, somebody might say, well, states can't be fined or federal agents can't be fined. However, if what you're doing is a clear constitutional violation, Fourth Amendment violations, going up to people without probable cause, without reason, and jacking them up because you don't even know their name. You don't know if they're here legally because unless you saw them or someone had a witness of this person, you're just going up to people based on the fact of being Hispanic and they round them up. That's a violation of Fourth Amendment. That's a constitutional violation. So the normal protection that you would get for civil lawsuits say that you just immunity for government actors, but what the government actor did is so clear a violation, like Fourth Amendment search and seizure, what you're doing, immunity doesn't apply. All right, so that's now let's get into state laws. Here's the stuff that you cannot be pardoned from by Donald Trump. Let's get into that. In a lot of states, when you detain someone without probable cause or judicial process, it's automatically a criminal offense. And even if you say agency, meaning like even if someone told you to do that, you are personally liable criminally in state law. So these blue states, when they find out who you are, you can be criminally liable. Now, impersonating a law enforcement officer. If an agent covers their badge, hides their ID, uses an unmarked car, or no clear authority, many states strict liability. So when y'all stripping off your license plate, violating the law, that is true in California, Illinois, and New York. It's a felony, regardless of your intent. Again, you cannot say somebody told me. Tom Homan. These people are setting y'all up. Criminal liability means go to jail. Battery by law enforcement. Some states have automatic principles, criminal liability, criminal penalties for officers who use force without following lawful arrest procedures. So before you identify yourself, y'all are not identifying yourself before probable cause. Y'all arresting people just based on being Hispanic, and it triggers criminal assault and battery. Y'all are setting up personally to go to jail. Violations of civil rights under call of state laws. So several states, California, Bain Act allows for criminal and civil liability. Here's the civil thing, that's your money. Interfering or constitutional rights by threats, intimidation, coercion. That's all you've been doing. What happens when you civilly sue? That means they can attach, they get a judgment. They're attaching your house, your car, your clothes, your future tax refunds. So you're getting 1,000 per illegal. When the other side of this, when we find out who you are, you're losing everything. That $1,000, enjoy it now because it's coming to an end. All right. So in summary, it said a lot of the violations, including unlawful search and seizure without a warrant, the physical assault of people in the street, the false imprisonment, the kidnapping, impersonating an officer, misusing force during non-judicial deportations, they violate civil and criminal laws in states. You're talking about state assault and battery laws, state felonies. These are strict liability, which means it does not matter if you had intent. In a lot of states, no intent is needed. So long as you're exceeding federal authority, you're not going to be getting the immunity that's normally afforded the state actors. You're talking about violating the Fourth Amendment, and especially if badges are covered, especially when you act without probable cause, it's automatic. When you're hiding your ID, that means you're liable. There's laws that protect people against intimidation and coercion, and a lot of these just trigger state and federal liabilities. And again, as I said before, these laws are the statute of limitation means they're like 5 years and beyond, meaning that after Donald Trump is gone, the next administration can come after you. So keep it up here. What this says is that families are going to start suing you guys. and it's going to impact your homes, your savings, your pensions. This is the end of it. So that's just letting you know. I don't know why y'all think that there's other side of this, because Rudy Giuliani lost his house. There's a lot of Donald Trump people who went to jail, lost their law license. Look it up. There's a lot of Trump associates after this was done. They did all sorts of stuff. Right now, Mark Meadows, who was Donald Trump's chief of staff, he's right now being criminally prosecuted in Georgia for the finding the votes case. And he went to Supreme Court to ask Supreme Court to save him. Supreme Court said no. The Supreme Court said no to Donald Trump escaping state liability. So the blue states that y'all doing this in don't have the same empathy for you guys, and y'all are terrorizing the citizens, and it's just a matter of time. TikTok, it's coming, and when it comes, your house, your liberty is called. So if you want to keep doing this and think you can get away with it, you're going to be unmasked, especially when blue states start passing laws. Their law enforcement is going to be arresting y'all. So enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy those tacos. Enjoy the little boat, because it's coming in. JJ Legal, share this video so other people know.
My wife worked as a nanny
So
for
guys,
Victoria's
that
Secret mom,
there you
and what
hear
she
it.
saw in
She's
that kitchen
hold
made
give me
us
a minute.
both lose.
She is passing her knowledge on, and I'm going to go ahead and forward this too. So especially this is where all the chaos is really taking place. New York, California, and yeah, as far as I know, that's the majority of the places that is taking place. Like I said, there's a problem. She's giving the solution, and like you said, there's a time and season for everything, and this is happening right now. But there is a light and a rainbow at the end of the tunnel. So this is Monique with biblical and political news.